Hey booktube, I am the Book Mage, welcome back to my channel. And I say welcome. I might be asking for some help or some recommendations, some suggestions. When I was clearing some books like out of my room and like out of the stack that has been here for a while, I was kind of like thinking back to some of the books that I owned that either I have read and honestly just don't need, or the books that I have not read that I just don't really care about or like don't seem to care about. I've lost interest. So what I thought I would do is, this isn't specifically like an unhaul, because depending on the feedback I get, I might give some of these books a chance. I might choose like to actually give them a go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through them. I'm kind of going to tell you like why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling, and I'm hoping that if I hold up any books that it turns out are actually like really fantastic, and that maybe I've just like forgotten why I was interested in the first place, or like I just don't know how good it's gonna get. If I hold up a book and you know that it's amazing, please tell me. I currently have like no enthusiasm for a bunch of these, so if you think on the other hand that like I'm right and it's not worth reading, or like you just know that it's probably not my taste, even if like it is a book worth reading, you just know that like it's worth it, just not for me, that too, fantastic feedback. I would much appreciate it. So the first few books on this list are going to be books that I have already read. I'm either not continuing with the series or not reading anything else by the author, but I don't know, if I hold something up and you know that book 2 gets amazing, give me the feedback, or like maybe something else from the same author, or maybe I'm right and they suck, in which case tell me. I wasn't drinking tea at that moment in time for like emphasis, I just really like Lipton. So the first book, I think this is definitely one that I'm probably going to end up unhauling, and it is 1,000 Beginnings and Endings. This is literally just a collection of short stories. I hauled this like a few years ago now for the Asian Readathon, and I read it. It was fine, but like if I really did have an interest, I would maybe want to read like the actual myths themselves, or maybe somebody else's interpretation. I don't see why I would need this, and maybe somebody else would like it. The next one was also something I picked up at the same time as well, and that is Want by Cindy Pon. Now, I mentioned this recently in my like series continuation video, because I had not officially DNF'd this, but in that video I was thinking I might end up DNFing this, and so I kind of need you guys to tell me like, this is it's a YA series. It's to do with like rich people in a world full of pollution, and they can afford like these like exosuits to keep them healthy, and the poor are sort of like choking to death on the smog and dying, and like that's the kind of like YA futuristic super tech kind of world that this is set in. It was just like a quick bingeable read. I don't think I necessarily got anything out of it, but it wasn't not enjoyable to read. That's where I'm at. And I think it's a duology as well, and it's really short, but like I just don't think about this book. I didn't dislike it, and I've kept it because I'm thinking like, well, maybe I'll read it, but like also look at my shelves. Who am I kidding? Is book 2 worth reading it? Have any of you read this series, or am I just like, do I just need to move on? So the next book that I'm thinking of unhauling, I also got at the same time as the other one, and that book is Timekeeper, I think by Tara Sim. This book is like, it's YA, and it's kind of like an alternate universe like London, where everything runs I think on like clockwork, and it does have a like very sort of kind of slow burn like male romance, even though you definitely know who's going to get together. It like kind of takes its time with it. So there was nothing really bad about this book. I just think it's the writing and the plot and the characters were all like very juvenile to me. This reads as like a very young YA, which was confusing because like I'm pretty sure the dust jacket says it's for 17+, which I've never seen like specified on a book before, and I genuinely think it's only because it has a same-sex couple in it. Yeah, I just think it read a lot younger than I wanted it to, and it was kind of predictable. And I know it is a series, but like I just don't see myself going on with it. Like, do I really want to read like a teen romance set in alternate London? I don't really think I do. Okay, the next one. This pains me. You would think this is like the best book for me. Oh, I was so disappointed. It is The Adamantine Palace by Stephen Dees. I picked this up for, I think this was for a readathon as well. I think it was for Medievalathon, and I got this really cheap. It's like an old second-hand hardcover copy. And this is meant to be basically the world this is set in. It's everyone has a dragon, everyone's a dragon rider. There are like thousands of dragons in like the military. Every country has dragons. Transport is all dragons. Oh my god, this book is dragons, dragons, dragons. And somehow I found it boring. There's literally a dragon POV in this book, and it somehow was not engaging at all. I think my issue with this book is there are so many characters and none of them are relatable, not even like likable. And I mean that in the way of, I like characters who are meant to be like unlikable characters, but the way they do it in this is just, it's not that I dislike them, I just do not care. This book does not give me any reason to root for anyone. Like, I don't know who I'm meant to like. I don't know which one of these many sides of these many factions I'm supposed to enjoy the POV of. Nearly every POV character in this, it's like you get to know a character, they get killed off. You meet someone new, they die at the end of the chapter. You meet someone new, they die at the end of the chapter. And like all through this book, I'm thinking like, who am I actually meant to get attached to here? Because like, killing off like a beloved character, that can hit. But if you kill off literally every single person I meet, it starts to get funny, but like not in a good way. There's nothing to pull me into the next book, except for the fact that I liked the premise, which is it's a world full of dragons. So let me know if book 2, if you've read this, like let me know if book 2 is any better. So much potential, so much freaking potential, and let me know if book 2 does actually like continue through with that potential. If not, I'm gonna yeet it. After that, the next book I'm thinking of is one that I actually enjoyed, I just don't see myself going back to, and it is The Merciful Crow by, is it Margaret Owen? I read this and I actually reviewed it, and like, I don't remember what I said, but I probably said a whole load of pointless shit. This book, I really liked the premise of this book, I just wish it wasn't YA. Everyone has like magic, and the kind of magic you can do like depends on like kind of like your bloodline, I guess. And there's one like group of people that can't do any of their own magic, but what they can do is they can use like the bones of the dead of the other groups of people, and they can use whatever power like that person had, and I think like at the power level that they had it. And the way they tend to do this is with human teeth. The main character is one of these crows. She has like a necklace full of human teeth that like allow her the ability to do like bits and pieces of magic, and I liked how it was done. It was, for a YA, it did everything it set out to do without doing anything that I tend to really dislike in a YA, which was refreshing. But I do just still think that even though I didn't dislike anything about it, I didn't really get enough out of it. Like, it's a decent series, and if you're somebody who likes YA, I would recommend this. I guess all I'm asking is, for those of you who like YA and have read book 2, do you think it is worth me reading book 2? If it's just one more book that wraps everything up, I could maybe be convinced. Okay, oh god, this is another one that I have read, and it's Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I don't know why I picked this up, or I do, it was because of BookTube hype, and I thought, stupid little me, I thought I'm gonna be super diverse with my reading taste, and I'm gonna pick up like the mystery thriller type book that everyone says is like the best thing. Oh my god, does it suck? So this is definitely not one that, like, you don't need to tell me to keep this. Like, I'm not gonna read anything else by Riley Sager. I'm not going to. Okay, those were all the books that I have actually read. So from here on out, I need like more help. So the next book that I'm thinking of unhauling, maybe possibly, is King of Ashes by Raymond E. Feist. Now, I know that this author is like a very well-known author, and I think they have like several like well-known series. The thing is, I picked up this book, I think it was just like the newest release at the time. It's volume 1 of the Firemane saga, and something about like, I don't know. The point is, I hauled this so long ago, I don't remember anything about it, and I'm genuinely too lazy to like sit and read the synopsis again, and I just feel nothing about this book. I definitely do want to read from this author at some point, but like this particular book, I'm just like, I don't remember what it's about. I don't remember why I was interested in it in the first place. I think it was an author by, but like, is this the best place to start with this author? Or is there like a better book or series by Raymond E. Feist that you would suggest I start with if I'm not interested in this? Or is this because it's one of his newer works? Maybe this is fantastic and like I should start here. Let me know. Like, is this worth keeping? Because I know this is a good author. I just feel nothing for this book. Somebody tell me if it's good. Is this book good? Do I read it? Or do I get rid of it and pick up a different one of his books? Let me know. The next one I'm thinking of unhauling is Angel Mage by Garth Nix. Is that it? It's literally right up on my shelf. I am just too lazy to tackle the mini stack and go get it. Like, I can't be arsed. I don't know. I genuinely think I thought this book was going to be adult, and I think I have since found out that it's a YA. It has the word mage in the title, and it's by an author that I was interested in reading from, which is why I picked it up. But I just genuinely have no interest in this book. I have no passion for this book. It's not that I don't like it, like, it has the word mage in the title. I just, like, just because you wrote one good book series for, like, kids/teenagers does not mean that everything you write is going to be good. So, like, is this good? Is it good? Let me know. Should I keep it? Should I read it? Next book I have, and I actually have this one, it is Skyborn by David Dalglish. So a lot of the time when I pick up a new book, I will go to Amazon to read like the preview that they give you, and I was like, it sounds really good, I really like the writing style, and I pick it up. And what I've read so far is nothing like that writing style. It genuinely feels like two people wrote, like somebody else wrote the preview, I swear. Who did it? I read this much of this book, and the issue is I just really did not enjoy the writing style of this. I know that, like, I have heard David Dalglish's name mentioned a few times in like various like fantasy circles. I don't know. Should I give this a go? Does it get better? Let me know. Okay, next book is Sister Song by Lucy Holland. Now, this came to me in my Goldsboro subscription, and it is a fantasy book. It is, I think, I don't know whether it's YA though. Yeah, it's set in magical ancient Britain, but like, I don't really know if I want to read about like magical ancient Britain. I think it does feature a trans character, which is like a plus, but it's written in first person. I think it might be a YA. I think it's like a low fantasy, and like I'm not necessarily interested in what could be a contemporary story just set in a fantasy setting. Saying that, I have not read it. It is a lovely edition as well, which is like quite sad. Like, I do like these end papers. I don't like the cover, but I like the end papers. Unless somebody tells me that this is like definitely adult and like actually fantastic and maybe does have a lot more of like the fantasy element in there, then I definitely might give this a go. Otherwise, I think somebody else is probably just going to enjoy this more than me. It is disappointing because like I definitely would like to read more books that are like fantasy and that have trans characters in them. I just don't know if this one is necessarily like one that I would find that interesting, like actually enjoy. Like, I'm looking and it mentions like the Romans and things. I don't know, like, I live in Britain, so it's hard for me to get like swept away in a fantasy land when it's like I could just go to Colchester and it's like, oh, I'm kind of there. I am also thinking of getting rid of Threadneedle. Oh, this is the first one where I don't remember the author's name. I'll put it on the screen. So that tells you how little interest I have in this book. Like, my brain does not want to store this information. This is a fantasy. I don't know whether it's a adult or YA, but I'm pretty sure the main character is young or maybe just like a teenager, and it's set in modern day London. And I know that because the end papers of the copy that I have, which came from Goldsboro, are sprayed with like the London skyline, so you've got like the London Eye on there. No, I'm sorry, if you can't convince me to read like ancient Britain, there's no chance in hell I am going to read modern London. Let me tell you, I've been to London and I hate it. I don't know, it's not just because I'm northern either, like, I swear that's not it, but like, London is absolute ass. I hate going to London, so I don't want to read about it. I do not want to be transported there, physically or otherwise. I don't think I'm going to pick this up, but I'll maybe see if my friend wants it. Only if it's a good book though. Like, I don't want to give her a book that is actually going to be like, not very good. Also thinking of Unhauling, The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Bannon. Now, this one's kind of sad because like, this is a Fairy Loot edition, and I like the colour scheme. Not necessarily on a book. If this was like on a, I have so many manga that are like this kind of colour scheme. I really like pink and blue. Other than like the colour and like the colour of the edges, I do not care about this book. I think my main issue with, honestly, a lot of the Fairy Loot books is that so many of them are contemporary romances that just have a vague fantasy element included. I don't mind that, but if they don't give me like some sword and sorcery, or like I'm not expecting grimdark from Fairy Loot, but like just something that isn't primarily like a romance in like a contemporary setting, I'm begging. I think this is something to do with like undertakers. I mean, it's the title is like a pun about their names and their profession. It's so not for me. Somebody else will love this book and this edition. Like, it's so cute. I wish this were anything else. It's just contemporary romance with a fantasy twist, and I'm not going to read it. And the last one that I am kind of sad about is Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. Another fairy loot, and this one has beautiful sprayed edges. This is a really nice edition of a book that I just don't care about. Again, it's set in a contemporary setting, and I just think that I don't care about contemporary like stories, especially with like a heavy romance plot. I just want like full-on magic. Like, if I just need a high fantasy, and not one that is a YA author's adult debut, because I don't trust it. If this, like, I could maybe, again, something like this, I could maybe be convinced to try it, but like, I just genuinely don't think that I'm going to enjoy this setting. I don't think I care about the story. Like, I just like going into worlds that I don't know. I like walking into a new world and just being like, isn't this cool? And I can't do that when I'm guessing this is set in, it looks like America, it could be Canada. But like, it's the North American kind of region, right? Okay, I was interrupted by a phone call during my rant, but like, I feel like that's it. Basically, luckily enough, I have no more books to go, and I've just about run out of tea. So, good for me. This video is basically over. Like I said, I would really appreciate if you guys could let me know if any of these books are worth saving, if you think any of them would appeal to me, or like they're just genuinely worth the effort of me giving them a go, or possibly moving on to the second book in the series if that's the case, or even potentially picking up something else by the author. Like, let me know. I like to try and be positive, so like, give me the positives, but also like, if any of them are not worth it, definitely also let me know. And that one's just between us. I mean, if anything, if I do end up getting rid of these, I might put together like an actual like unhaul video, which would be a first for me, because like, I am like a dragon. When I haul something, I hoard it. Let me know what I should save and what I should just unhaul. And if you made it this far in the video, I was gonna say maybe leave me like, I don't know, like, I think it's harsh to say like a bin emoji or something like that, or like a recycling emoji, because that might be seen as kind of harsh. So because I can see this cover, leave me like a blue heart if you got this far. I feel like that's much more pleasant. If you look in somebody's comments and just see like a dozen bin emojis, like, I feel like I'd like to treat my books with a bit more respect than that, so we'll go with a blue heart. So with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed, and maybe I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!